As a philosopher, my job, what I feel is my purpose, is to show people how to live. In order for me to show people how to live, I must live it myself. To be the evidence that I am showing people. To be happy, to live being happy is the ability to show people how to be happy. You cannot lead anyone if you do not know where to go first. If you do not reach that destination, how can someone else, how can you lead anyone to it? I think that good intentions on saying this person has the potential to go to the right place or find the happiness, but you're trying to lead them to a specific setting, a place like the water hole will make you happy. No, the water hole will make you happy, but not them. Maybe it's them, but maybe it's not. Maybe they get there and they stay there for a few minutes, but they're not content. Or maybe being there for the rest of their life is not where they want to be. Maybe they eventually want to go back home. Maybe eventually they'll come back to that place and say, this was a nice place to be at. But your dream is your dream to live. Live your dream. Do those things that you like. You invite people over. Maybe people want to see it, but maybe they don't want to live it. And then you stay there. You be the maintainer of that place. But trying to push on your dreams or your ambitions to someone else and say live it, someone might, but that won't necessarily lead them to be happy. And in fact, they might not be angry, but they'll be upset. They'll be like, well, my dad told me to stay here, until eventually they're going to come to resent you. That's why imposing yourself, imposing existence without acknowledging their own autonomy will inevitably create a collapse, because that's what capitalism is. That's what all of this is. It's someone imposing their own will. It's someone's insecurities falling onto everyone, because like I don't want the American dream. If that's the American dream, that it's to get money, to get to have the fancy cars, the luxury jobs, to swipe my credit card and never max out. That's not my dream. So I have to live the American dream. So and even if I don't like it, I have to obtain it. And even when I obtain it, if I don't like it, then do I get to impose my dream? No, that's the American dream. Who's America? Like if I go to America and I have a dream in America, is that not the American dream? No, no, it's someone else's who is imposing that and saying this is the American dream. I like to say yours. I like to say whose is it? Is it mine? Is it yours? Is it, because you could say it's ours, but who really has the control of it? Who really desires to maintain it? Who really wants it? And it's okay for something to be ambiguous or something that like we both kind of have ownership of, but um sometimes it's okay, even in a partnership, even in a relationship, to just say, yeah, this is theirs. I'm helping them with it, I'm aiding them with it, but this isn't mine. And it feels good to relinquish ownership. It feels good to say, hey, maybe I'm not the owner of this, so I'm not having to dilute myself into saying, oh, this is technically is if you, it's either you are or you're not. Either you feel it or you don't. Either you're educated or you're not. There's not a like educated in this way. Having a bachelor's um, in finance or computer science, that's great. That does not necessarily mean that you have the same education as someone who went for a philosophy degree, a sociology degree, or a I don't know, psychology degree. Yes, there's a lot of intersects in the general ed part, but there's a reason why the classes were different. There was a reason why the engagement was different. And putting everything in this range of like, okay, you have a bachelor's, so you're smart everywhere. I'm going to use this as Ben Carson. Ben Carson was a brain surgeon, I believe. Yeah, I believe brain surgeon. But when he became, I think, the Secretary of Urban Development, it was it not only it highlighted how dumb he was, because smart people don't go into positions that they themselves have not trained, have very little understanding, and there's someone more qualified to engage with that, like someone who has a real passion for it. I have an interest in like what's it called, developing my home and just like the blocks, urban development, but it's not my passion. You would never see me, going out there and working in the rain, snow. Like I work in the heat. I work when the conditions are nice or the conditions are well. Um, but it's not a, hey, I need to do this. This is a drive. This is a hunger. I want to do this. I love to do this. I'm willing to do this. This making videos, that's me. Even when I'm sick or I'm tired, I'm 3 a.m. I'm there. I'm doing it. I'm because that's my passion. That's my job. That's what I feel. Talking to people, speaking to people, living life. That's why I don't mind spending the money, because it's the experience. It's me driving myself to go deeper. Why am I afraid to spend this money? Why am I afraid to go out to these places? These things seem good. If it's good, why is it? Why do I feel bad about it? Oh, I don't feel bad about going to the event. I feel bad that I'm not going to have enough money to overcome a situation that may not have been caused by me, but would affect me without any sort of safety net or guidance or community to help me stave off hunger, depression, illness, all of that, etc. But I'm also aware that if I don't make these decisions and don't go out and maybe go karting or paintballing or just whatever, I won't get that chance again. We might die 2 years down the line. I never know if I'm going to get this chance, and I have no reason to keep fighting. The longer I stave it off, the likelier that I'm just going to become disillusioned. And even if I start to do it, you can't make up fun. I can work and type and do it on the desk, and then finally get into a place where I'm financially stable, and I have a attractive girlfriend, but if I'm miserable and I have no other experiences other than work, why the heck have it in the first place? Why have a girlfriend? Why buy a house? Why get a fast car if you're just going to take it to the office? There be you find that people that get fast cars and fancy cars and trucks, they end up needing the least amount of spaces. Like I'd see them driving a smart car and I'd be like, yeah, that's probably a good decision based on the fact that they're always just going to an office or carpooling or taking the bus or the train. That sounds smarter for what they're doing. But they need that luxury car because they are trying to heal the eternal kid. All of that sacrificing, they're like, well, I'm going to spend this money, and it's justifiable because of the truth that they say it's not. I I spent all this time believing in a lie, and there's so much more work that I'll have to do. I walked halfway across the globe, and I need to be on the other side, or I need to actually be. They say that you're across the globe, and there's a fence on that side, and the only way to get to that fence is going all the way around. People like they will spend their entire life trying to dig or jump over or walk to the sides, trying to get around. But the truth is, you're just gonna have to make the trip all the way back, um, vertically. Like, oh, we'll go horizontal. It's like you could try. Maybe you can make a hole in the gate, but sometimes it's just you need to make the steps and go all the way around. And maybe in that, I'll say you've seen all this side of the world. Why don't you see the rest? And by the time you get to the end of the world, you've seen it all. And you're like, they say, hey, that's the place that you're gonna die. Like if someone said, this spot on the world is where I'm gonna die, you know what I would say? Good. That's the last place I'm gonna go. And it's not going to be me avoiding it. In fact, I might actually just go there directly. Yeah, I could see, why am I gonna die there? Is it going to be, people put this mindset of negativity into that. But me, I might view it in a negative way, like, hey, maybe I need to avoid that. But then I'll also say, why? What is death really that negative? Maybe I see the place and it's the most beautiful place on earth and I never want to leave. It's the place where I'm having the most fun. Does it mean that I die immediately? There are questions and other things that are put into it that no one asked. They're just immediate. That's the immediate. And like the monkey experiment, where you put three, four monkeys into a room and put some bananas there, and then you shock all the monkeys anytime they try to touch the bananas. Then you get two new monkeys, and the older two monkeys um, force the other two monkeys not to touch the bananas, and then you replace the old two monkeys, and you get two more monkeys, and the other two monkeys just keep up. They don't touch the bananas, and they learn just never to touch the bananas, and they don't even know why. It is that. But what humans have is the curiosity, the brain capacity to see that in others. We have the foresight to see and connect things, and to experience the fruits of the universe. Yes, someone else's pain and grief could be a lesson to make joy. That's what life is. For me, I am trying to live. I am trying to find what makes me most happy. I'm trying to combat the scary things, to make the scary things no longer scary, to laugh and to even say, wow, we have come such a long way, and we still have a long way to go, but we've come a long way. I think about how trivial racism, how trivial, what's it called, chattel slavery was. Like, we have tools that are able to instantly do 8, 10, 100 times the work that enslaving people uh, was capable of doing. And yet, as profitable it was, because we didn't have those technologies at the time, you say, wow, all of this, could we have possibly come up with this ability faster? Could we have been innovative, had someone tried? Or how long had we kept this barbaric practice when it wasn't necessary? Because someone was comfortable. Someone was making the profit. Someone was making money, and stifled. Like this competitive nature is very stifling. Because think about how many cures, how many things could have been done already, how many problems could have been overcome if someone didn't just come in, shoot somebody in the leg with a shotgun, take the thing, and then finish them off in the head. It's not to rile somebody to get angry, just to realize, like, within themselves, like they're quick to say, oh, the government, the system, they're just people. They're just people. What about you? What are you teaching your kids? How are you living? Like, everyone is out here talking about something else, some larger picture, and I say, you know what? Let's go back to step one. You, the person. Because do you actually engage content that feels wholesome and truly embodies a good world? Do you ever listen to the criticisms? that someone would have to say. And I'm not talking about the trolls or the bots. I'm saying, like, ignore the obviously race baity or just the baity content. Like, say, hey, you know what, let me go on the other side, let me listen to what's being said. Not the ones that are popping off because they're trendy, because they're controversial. The ones with the low numbers, the ones with the shaky cams, the ones that like sound like someone did it right outside their job on a rush. And say, hey, you know what, I want a chance for you to answer these questions. What questions are you willing to answer? How, like, communicate, have a dialogue, but be upfront, authentic, honest. Like, are if you are asking questions, truly ask questions. When you find that someone's not being authentic, stop asking questions and walk away. It's podcast are just disingenuous conversation. They're very they're very biased. They put people that aren't um, aren't credible or aren't capable of expressing themselves to the point that they need, and they're not giving that person enough time. They're not having a repeated conversation with that person and growing and changing. It's very scripted. There's very little authenticity there, and it's this expectation that both people are of the same credibility. But if we're being honest, podcasters like Joe Rogan are not credible. I don't want to listen to, like, yes, he may have an opinion, but if I said, hey, when it comes to this generation, you can speak on your own perspective, but would you would you still keep the same show? Would you say, hey, this is the Joe Rogan show, and just not be on an episode of it? Would you just give the platform and just give that person 100% of the time to convey their thing, and then give it what's it called? Then you reply and rebuttal all of the points, breaking it down. No, you wouldn't, because like Joe Rogan is the selling point. Joe Rogan saying something instantaneous repeatedly is the selling point. And people that listen to podcasts, even when they're making fun of it, are engaging with it. They say ridiculous things because they know you're going to say it, so it's not ridiculous. Nothing is ridiculous. Nothing's insane. Nothing is crazy. You engaging with it is exactly why they do it. If someone is doing something that you deem extreme, the reason is to get you to look. If they're using bright colors, it's like, why would they do that? Because they know that it will bring some sort of attention. That's why there's the saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Someone that I like to use is Lil Pump. Lil Pump used to say and do a lot of controversial stuff. And, he would do anything for fame. Eventually, the fall off, J. Cole, all that, the fame ends. But I like to still bring him up now that everyone's like, hey, let's just move on to the next. No, I'm like, no, bring that conversation back. Bring the people that were listening to his music. Bring the people that had him and 6ix9ine as the top 10 rappers. Put the song on now. A lot of people that listen to that music, a lot of people that had those as streams, those people were being very openly racist, saying the N-word. 6ix9ine, Hispanic, wasn't black at all, saying the N-word. Let's bring it back. Let's show people what they were looking at. Let's show people how they were viewing those videos. Let's show them. Because, like, I want to have that conversation. I want to sit down and break down why did you listen to them? What got you into it? Why don't you listen to them anymore? What was bad about it? Because, like, what changed? And so many people get squirmy about that because the truth is not a lot. More than they're willing to admit, less than you'd think, though. They're still racist. They still want to say racist things, but they know they don't want to get caught saying racist things. And that mask, that plausible deniability is no longer there, and they know that. That's why they won't say or admit it. Lil Pump was obnoxious. His music wasn't really that good. Yeah, the beats, but it's just like, They they wanted dumb drug music. When they popped some drugs, they wanted to just, ooh, I want to feel good. Someone say soda, candy, pop. It was just like, rot my brain. I don't care about these things because saying the true reality, hey, society isn't really doing good. Pollution is not doing good. Going to Lollapalooza is not good. Going to these festivals and concerts are not good. You're blasting your ears off. You're going to have tinnitus before the age of 25. Um, you're you are now conscious, so you effectively, the decisions that you're making will inevitably impact you right now, even though you're 14. Because guess what? You're a live conscious being. No one wanted to hear about being conscious. They wanted to be like, oh, I'm 16, I'm 14, I'm this, I'm not conscious. A lot of people are racist, and they were racist long before they became an adult. Being an adult is just saying legal for our society. This is when it's acceptable for them to make decisions and laws and the necessary changes. That's the reason why there's the legal age. But I do not treat people um like a 14-year-old, like they're incapable of conceptual adults, conceptual thoughts, like they can conceive thoughts. Now, I obviously clearly understand that romantic decisions can't be done. That's why I watch two 14-year-olds and they're awkward, their conversation skills. So there's um that's why when I hear people say, oh, 17, that's the legal age. 18 is not a good age. Like I'm in my 20s, mid 20s. I'm not gonna say my actual age. I probably slip up one time, but I understand that even as a 20-year-old, dating an 18-year-old is weird. You're so removed, not so removed, but you're vastly removed from not only that life, but the responsibilities of like high school. They're always going to make reference to some place that you passed and passed for so long that you kind of forget how the rules go. And the longer it goes, it's going to be you're going to be out of that loop. It's not the worst thing, but like there's a reason why in those young ages that it's more of like fresh off the oven, so you don't eat it as long. But once it gets to a temperature, a certain temperature, the longer you go without it, it's going to become colder and colder. Um, it's like it might be hot, hot, hot for like this long, and you're like you can't touch it. You can't touch it within these times. And then once it gets like to a certain point, it's like there's longer spaces where it's acceptable. Like I don't mind a 48-year-old with a 30-year-old because guess what? A 30-year-old should be able to conceptualize, articulate, come with certain skills and understandings of that life. Of like, hey, they can do the work and say, yes, I would want to be with this person. These are the reasons, both physically, emotionally, spiritually. There's many things like that's we can respect that. But if I'm not going to explain it any further because I feel like any conversation that is being had where I have to overly explain it and people do not just kind of pick it up and say, yeah, I agree, that becomes some people, no, those people don't want to know. Those people are actively trying to make a conversation, a dialogue to like convince you or to wear you down. And I'm like, nah, I think that we need to raise the age limit to 20. I'm saying because there are way too many people that just become 18 and then instantly make an OF or instantly get into relationships with 48-year-olds or it's weird. There's not a buffer zone. Heck, I'll say even make it 21. Would it be weird? would it be like a kind of awkward shift from what we're used to? Yeah, but guess what? That's life. Like it's going to be like, oh, this is kind of weird until you just get used to it, and you're like, oh yeah, I can see the pros. Because if being 21 means I can't drink, being married and drinking, I would rather drink. And I'm someone who doesn't drink alcohol at all because like committing your life to someone that like a forget this the frontal lobe is not fully developed. um this person has not had the experiences or even allowed to have those experiences. So what life are you trying to live? What do you see in this person? Like if I can fill their entire life with school, I've just been in school. Like did you go do any adventures? Did you what financial strives did you have? If you have a 16-year-old having to be like, oh, I work 3 jobs and I understand what depression is. Guess what? That's not maturity. That's abuse. They spent their entire life being abused. That's why they're not mature. They handle things differently because they have an experience that they should not have had. Because being neglected is not an experience that should be universal. It shows the weakness of a system. Um, being forced to be the adult, being mature, is not a sign of maturity. Again, it's a sign of abuse, neglect, irresponsibility, and it just keeps a cycle. So we're not actually trying to protect people and say, hey, you know what, marriage shouldn't be done that early. There should be a time limit when someone can date to be married. If you're a certain age, you can't get married until a certain age. Uh, but they don't see it like that. They're like, oh, that's taking away your rights. Guess what? A lot of things take away our rights. There's a reason why I can't drive down the street going 70 miles per hour, especially when there's a school right next to me. Oh, they're taking my rights to speed and possibly hit a kid. Even if there's no one out there, there's a reason why we ticket and fine and we limit that because we don't want you to get used to it. To say, oh, I've done it 100 times. Well, now you're the 101st time you actually hit somebody. It was inevitable. We're trying to break those cycles before they even form. Uh, we're to live in a free society is not free to do anything. It's free to accept or uh, disagree with the society's rules. If you disagree, you can leave. If you accept, you can stay. But when you accept those consequences. If you disagree and then stay, you're accepting those consequences. All of it is just like, but a truly fair, a actual, I'm the rules. These are the rules in place. This is like you can't screw somebody over, take all their resources, and say, well, you can stay or leave. You're holding me hostage. Oh no, I'm not. You can leave and then die. The technically you could, technically you could leave, but you would what's it called? You cannot fine them. You cannot charge them. You cannot put them in excessive debt based on that rules if they cannot leave and go somewhere else because of your influence. That's not smart. It's not clever. It's intentionally malicious. I think that we need to start demasking what intelligence, what being smart is. That's not business savvy. That's unethical. A lot of things are just unethical, painted in this coat that they're a genius for doing something that I could have thought too, but I know ruins the spirit of this all. It's again psychopathic and sociopathic. I could play a game. I like playing Uno, but I have a hard time finding people to play Uno with because it's like finding someone of the same kind of mindset and the ability for that challenge to actually work. See, my niece loves playing Uno, and I love playing Uno, and we can play together. But I know that the majority of the time, I'm going to win. The majority of the time, I know the rules and I can read her. So it's like, it's not as fun for me. Should I play it for her? Yes. Should I try to be as authentic? It's like you don't have to go as hard, but you're not going to give a authentic challenge unless the game is like truly just like if I'm doing this to teach and to for her to gain the skills to play with others, yes, it's a good pastime. If I'm a little bit hard on her, I'm like, okay, let me show her a thing or two. That's good. But if I started out the game using all the sneaky moves, all the what's it called? I stack the deck, I cheat, I'm doing all these. It's not smart because people are focused on the win, but they're not focused on like, are you and the other person enjoying the game? Yes, the person can become frustrated, and you could play the game with right rules and they're playing by the rules and that person gets frustrated. That's on them then. You could say, hey, you don't have to play the game if you're getting too frustrated. Um, and that's okay. These are the rules, and I know that you know the rules, and I know that you know the rules. Uh, but most of the games are just rigged. Most of the game, you don't know the rules until you're um, already down in the game. If you say, "Hey, to play this game, you have to you have to chip in this money. You have to pay this money." When you're like, "Okay, fine," and it's like, "There, I'll start you out with $100, and you have to give $1 each time." You're just allowing people to develop gambling addictions. You're you're getting in a central part of their brain where you know that revenge is something that people tend to have, especially when they have low level of maturity. They want to feel um, like you intentionally make it uneven, so they would have to have +1 or plus minus on their record. That's not fair. They're so basically what happens in capitalism is that there's never really a zero. There's never really a stable. There's never really a day where you don't owe somebody or someone owes you. But the concept of zero is the most important to a society because it's like, hey, maybe you don't, but you also don't owe. So it's like a bit of a balance. The game of capitalism and a lot of these how the governments work is that it never truly lets you rest. It never truly lets you say, you know what, you're done. Um, there's always like there's a way to win a lot, and there's like a way to have the superior numbers. But those that actually said, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna break even. I'm like, I don't want to play anymore. I got into the game, and I can leave the game. I want true zero. Uh, it's a difficult thing. It's not difficult. It's difficult only in this way of getting other people to convince them that hey, this game's kind of rigged, and what we actually need to do is just believe in ourselves and acknowledge the problems and issues with ourselves before we can ever tackle anything outside. Because everyone that tries to like say this thing is bad, this thing is bad, you you kind of run around kind of dense and not actually doing anything. It's a whole lot of yelling, it's a whole lot of protesting, it's a whole lot of like anger, but it's always mismanaged. What are you angry about? What are you what are you trying to stop? Like I'll say it again, the even the celebrations with Manzani, I think it's Zoran Manzani. I don't see what people are celebrating about. I don't honestly, authentically see what's the entire purpose of doing that because it is only cheering on like a democratic socialist is cheering on something that was a bare minimum that needed to be done. It's in New York. It's not yes, it's affecting the entire country, but not the way that you think, not the way it needs to. Their policies in New York only affect New York. They might be lay down a blueprint, but until then, like, it's not a full effect. And he's going to do so, like, he is also backed by AOC, who's also shown to be performative, who's also sold out. So like I don't see how he won't also do kind of sellout things. Um, it's putting a person of color into a position of a dying, like kind of like the glass cliff. Because if anything is going down, then they elect a person of color, and then that person of color doesn't magically fix everything. Then they justify racism. See, we put one of them in there, and they did something bad, and um, it's like, oh, we won, we won, we won. What did we win? My rent is still high. Like, I'm over here, my rent's still high. Oh, we beat this guy. Okay. Like, I genuinely don't care about Andrew Cuomo. Not in the sense of like I don't see what he did and see how disgusting that is. Um, he's out. He's not even in jail. Like he did all this, and we're just supposed to be like, we beat him. I, it, he needs to be in jail. Like is people forgetting? Like, it's not just like, by all means, they could have just like set him up to do that. They could have been like, hey, you know what? Let's pick a guy that's not liked, that's liable to kind of still win. So either way, we're gonna either put the money in this new guy or put this money into this old guy. Either way, we're going to have a guy that's gonna follow our command. Instead of just like, is it really gonna fix all the things that it needs to fix in the time it needs to fix it? Maybe he does something that we agree is good, but maybe he doesn't do it good enough, and then messes up more. It messes up more by not actually doing it well. So it makes the idea of doing it seem bad. So he's a democratic socialist, not a socialist, democratic socialist, who is willing to do some of the bidding of the Democratic Party, backed by some Democratic politicians. So is he ever going to out or expose or talk about the negative ramifications that the Democratic Party has been doing? Because it's like nice, but is he willing to be on the chopping block? Is he willing to just like, hey, you know what? We're going to end like things in my position and make sure that my position can't be used or utilized in this negative way. I'm going to lessen the power that I have, or lessen the power of organizations that can actively harm other people, so they can, cycle out new ones. Yeah, maybe I'm not going to be liked this term, but I'm only doing one and done. So I'm trying to just make the world a better place. And I doubt he's going to do that. I doubt it's really going to come to the line of that, and it's going to provide more of a negative name, because people are just going to say, we tried the socialism way, we tried the socialism way. I can hear it now. We tried socialism and it's not going to work, and it didn't work, and blah blah blah. I'm like, no, you put a democratic socialist, which is just like, you could just name anything, because like Hitler had socialism, quote unquote, until it didn't work, until that name, it's name branding. If I say I have, like if I said, hey, I have an iPhone, and it's like a Android and it's a bootleg, it's like, no, it's they named it I dash space, or put space and then phone. It doesn't make it an iPhone. It doesn't. The name Is it the same technology? Is you can call it whatever you want. Is it the same actual technology? Does it have the same blueprints? Um, the same systems, schematics, all of it. Is it that? No. If it's not, then it can't be compared. Did it fail? No, because we never actually tested it, and that's the problem. Many people keep saying we actually did it, and then we didn't. And they'll be like, look, they did this and that. And then you actually look at it, that's not it. And they're like, no, it isn't, and you're dumb. And then they never talk to you again. So that's why I'm like, I'm not going to clap, praise, or cheer until I actually see some substance actually done. Until I see those things in place. And I'm like, that's what we were talking about. The entire time, that's what we were talking about. Not, we're going to cut some fun. No, did you defund? Hey, I'm going to, we're going to lower okay, was it just that? No, well, since we lowered this, we're going to have to do, nope, then I'm not going to give you any credit. The thing about it is that I can trust myself to understand that one does not need the other. Compromise is needed, but sometimes admitting or doing one thing is the beneficial way. Admitting that you're wrong and it's like, hey, you're 100% right, or this what you are saying is right. We just need to do this. We don't have to touch anything else. We could just do this. Sometimes it's going to move, not all the time, and it does. It's like politics is like very picky, choosy, and then like when you want nuance, when they want nuance, they'll demand. Look at it like this. Be nuanced with us. I'm like, be nuanced with us. What, like, some things are simple, some things are difficult. When things are genuinely or realistically difficult, and you explain it to me, I can come to the understanding it's difficult. I can listen to it, explain it all. Maybe I didn't get it the first time. Explain it with a video, say, hey, this is everything. And it'd be like, oh, that was complex. Okay, I need a moment. I hate having to hear political commentators break down what someone is saying, and then even them are just like they're in a room with other political commentators just having a girls chat, just like being sassy with each other, trying to get a clip, trying to go viral. I don't trust the people with social media. I don't trust the people that have too many likes on their social media, and it's like, unless it's like, hey, you know, a 5 second clip, they're not going to get any ad revenue, but here's the information. I don't trust them. Why? Like, the moment that you get ads, and like, I'm not gonna lie, like there's probably gonna be a day I sell out and I say, you know what, if I do, go to someone else. I say, like, I am not above it. I'm saying this right now. I myself am not above selling out. You too would do it for a check. I realize that everything that I'm talking about is something that I could do. I probably would do. Um, and I'm saying that have the strength not to do it, but admit when you are leaning to do it. Those that are willing to admit that they have a problem are willing to step back to say, yeah, I was really thinking about it. Like, there was a time where I was staring at the barrel of the gun. I'm not afraid to admit it because, like, I was tired. I was in pain. It was the solution. It was the, and then I just made the call, and I was like, called the VA hotline. I said, hey, I have a problem. Now, I want this to be preference because, like, I don't want to end up in a tree or just like, oh, he killed himself now. It's like, no. It is me saying that if you ever see me like that, I have the strength, and I'll say it anytime. I will be honest, and I will say, yeah. I'll be honest, and I'll tell you that hard truth. You'll never see me just go away and do it. I realize what that does to people. Like, I would argue that I would sit there. I'd rather pull the gun out and do it in front of everybody than do it hidden. The way that you will get hit 2 times in the head and said, "Oh, you." So that's why I'm saying it like I am, because like when you say the truth, when you're starting to do things, you do have to, or even when you become prominent, when you're going to face a level of corruption, maybe going into that corruption to show you, hey, yeah, anyone could be corrupt, anyone could do corrupt things. People could come back, people could say, hey, I learned my lesson, but you shouldn't have to come back after you're like, oh, I spent all the money, they no longer want me, I'm going to expose the truth. Listen to them. Like those that want to tell all books. I want you to know. No, how about you don't make those people famous? You listen to the thing, and then you're just like, I don't want to ever hear you again. I like take your money. I don't want to hear you again. And still make them a pariah. You're doing this because you're at the end. Now you're tired. No, I'm not saying even get angry. Just admit it. Like now you're tired. Now you want to tell the truth because you're just tired and you but don't keep them in the cycle. They say I can't keep you in the cycle. I won't keep you in the cycle. If you say you're tired, I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to let you rest. Like you're going to be monitored, but you're not going to be famous. A lot of people become Judas and then they're like, oh, I want to give it back. I want to give it back. Give it all then. Give all that you can. If they're really at bottom, then give them their change and then give them the money, whatever. Let them live the life, and they will always have to realize what they've done. I'm not saying doing anything out of anger or malice. Do it as a righteousness, and that's sometimes hard. Sometimes that is, hey, make them famous again, make them uncomfortable, or put them in a position of power. Sometimes it is. Uh, I'll finish it like this. It is it is hard doing the right thing. It's hard watching people do things that you're not comfortable with. But that's a good thing. Your heroes are not heroes, they're human. They're people. I'm a person. Malcolm X is a person. Martin Luther King is a person. The Ruby Bridges, a person. That do people things. They have needs, they have wants, they have desires, they have bad days, they have good days, they have emotion. It's not denying them. Like, hey, if you say that they're slipping, they're falling, and they can't even stop themselves, then it isn't for you to stop engaging with them and not turn your back, but turn your head. Kanye West, I'm turning my head. I'm like, listen, there was a time where he made enjoyable music, but he always constantly tries to scapegoat into this religion. He needs help, and instead people are they're laughing at him, and I'm not gonna laugh at him anymore. I'm not gonna laugh like at the jokes because I feel like until he's ready to go to rehab and go get the help and step completely and permanently out the limelight, then I'm not gonna engage with him. Oh, he'll lose his money. He'll lose his money. He'll have his mind. He'll have his sanity. That's all I care about. I care about him, so I don't care about the money. Oh, he's going to expose the truth. If exposing the truth makes him lose his mind any further and we lose him, what is our salvation? What is our salvation if we have to sacrifice one? If sacrificing him is to extend my days for 3 years, for 3 years I'm just extending my torture. 3 years without him. 3 years watching someone that has lost their mind. And then what if it's me? What if someone says, I have to fight, I have to do this, that's my duty? And everyone ignores my fear, my anxiety, my pain. not gonna make someone's life a hell so I can be heaven, and I'm no different from the people that I'm opposing. What's the point? The ethics. I know myself that I want the money. I want the money because I want to live a life. I want a house. I want to drink clean water. I want to eat good food. I want to sleep. I want to rest. And if I can get that, then I'll stop. The problem is some people like what people confuse it for is like they'll see the life of luxury and glitter and glam and say, "Oh, that's the life I actually always wanted." No, that you you confuse me trying to be content with suffering. Like if I get that good life, then I'm saying, "Hey, I'm doing what's right." You saw me, do those commercials, and now I'm living a good life. I'm like, go get your good life. It's not bad to do ads. It's not bad to do something. But you see that I stopped. Like, hey, I did 10 commercials. I got the money. I got that bag. I cashed out. See me back away. And it's like they're gonna say, hey, you know what? He was so underrated. Oh, we don't see them or see him anymore. Good. You don't need to see me anymore. I don't need to be in your TV. I don't need to be engaging with you every day. I don't want you to see me like that. Because like guess what? If I see you and you see me everywhere, I see myself and I go crazy seeing myself. I go crazy hearing my own voice. I'd go crazy seeing myself age, get old, get fat, always have to like work out. I'm like, always gotta work out, always gotta work out. I would become schizophrenic. I would become a danger to myself and everyone around me because that's too much times where I'm staring at my own face and like, I'm looking good. I'm looking good. Narcissism starts to ingrain, and then like low self-esteem. I'm like, oh, I looked better in this movie, or they said this is my best movie. I'll do it once. I'll do it twice. Then you'll never see me again. Because guess what? I'll know that there's 1,000 more movies coming in, and it's like, hey, I like you in this movie. Oh yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. If every year I don't like someone uh, is connected by the one or two places that they see me, and they're like, hey, or multiple different places. Hey, I remember you here. I remember you there. I remember you this. I remember you that. And it's like, oh, that's good. And I remember you because I remember you being there. I remember you existing, you being around. You were at a time. You're bringing me back to a place. Thank you. Like you bringing that up reminds me if you only see me one place and at the other places that I've been or linking me to other places, I'm just stuck in the past. So now I guess with that being said, I'm done.